Hey guys, this is my third run on the Ignis raid event and likely my final run on this stage. This is going to be the ticket mission run with a bronze Ignis, assuming if you want to skip him. So for this run, I removed all of Ignis weapon passives. That's why you see the icons are in blue. Ignis also only has a bronze weapon. He does have a fully maxed out armor equipped, but that's really only because I was too lazy to remove the armor. And the impact of the armor is very insignificant anyway, it doesn't really make too much of a difference, so I decided to just leave it in. One thing though, Ignis is at force level 50, unfortunately I couldn't remove it, but I will mention later on during Deuce's turn adjustments that you can make in case your Ignis is at say force level 0 or force level 10 or something like that. You can still do the same run, but you just have to make a few adjustments to win the force gauge race later on. I had Ignis start first so that he can use the Keiss base call on Astos, and so that he can also use his S2 into his memory lane PSG stance. This is very important. It is that stance that gives your party debuff immunity, and once you do that, then you don't have to worry about the debuffs for the rest of the fight. After that, you can end Ignis turn using regroup. Now if your regroup S1 is instant turn, that's because you have his 15 CP weapon passive equipped. That weapon passive is the one that makes it instant turn, but like I said, since this is a bronze run, I removed all weapon passives, so his regroup is no longer instant turn. Astos uses his LD, and his LD will make a launch due to the Keiss call that you used earlier, and if you combine this with both the rings call, you get a full summon meter after this. I had Deuce use LD at the start just to refresh her LD overhead stacks, and this is where, depending on how many force levels your Ignis have, so here I'm spamming Concerto and you should do the same, but keep a very close eye on the boss's force gauge. Assuming if your Ignis is say force level 10, you charge your force gauge significantly slower and you won't be able to win the force gauge race. What you can do is charge your force gauge until you are roughly about 70%. You should be able to hit 70% even if Ignis is at force level 0, and then pop summon mode. In my run here, I'm saving summon mode for later, and that's really only to keep the turn count low. So if you need the extra room to charge your force gauge to 100%, you can pop summon mode, use like 4 or 5 more concertos inside summon mode. Don't worry, you don't need the additional turns, and then use Deuce FR right at the end of summon mode or immediately after. If you do that, you obviously won't have the benefit of having Deuce BT aura up yet, but that's okay. Deuce FR is instant turn, so you can still chain FRs into concertos into FR, like what I'm doing here exactly. The only drawback is that you won't be getting the attacker buff follow-up attack yet, but that's fine, the damage that it does isn't too significant at this stage of the game. I pop summon here, but assuming if you've already burnt through your summon mode to win the force gauge race, you can still take the exact same actions here because everything here is instant turn. The only difference I guess is your turn count would be a bit higher, especially when Ignis takes his turns, but otherwise everything else will still stay the same. This is the only move that would be different. Assuming you used summon mode earlier and you didn't have room to use Deuce BT+, this is where you want to use her BT+ to end her turn instead of the LD that I used. And then with Ignis, just use double regroups with him to pass his turn along. Finally, on Astos' turn, Astos has one free turn due to the quick prayer from the Luna call you used earlier, so you can fill in one FR echoes and then go into his BT mode. And the rest really is history. The one drawback about using Deuce here is that Astos actually only fulfills one of Deuce's FR conditionals, which is having the note buff up. The second conditional actually requires you to battery an ally, and unfortunately Astos can't. But at this point you are already at a very high force bonus percentage anyway, so it doesn't make too much of a difference luckily. And this is still sufficient to kill off the bosses. Even say if your Astos doesn't do enough damage to kill off the bosses here and you exit BT mode and the boss survives, don't worry, the fight is still very much doable. The boss will enter force time and will use their force attack, which will hurt a little bit, but their force attack will not kill you. You can easily heal off the damage from that attack using either regroup from Ignis or Concerto, or healing him from Deuce, after which in the Force Return era, Astos will still melt the bosses very easily. The only effect the enemy has in their force time is that they reduce all the brave damage that you do to 1 because of very high brave damage resistances, but Astos doesn't care about that. At this point, Astos overhead is already capped, it's maxed out. So if you press his S1 or S2, it will still deal the same amount of damage anyway. So that's it. Hope this video will be helpful, and if you enjoy the content, do leave a like, comment and subscribe. Till then, I will catch you guys in the next Shinryu fight. Bye!